Welcome back. As always, Goku's son DBZ here, and this is part 2 of looking at the top 50 best-selling Capcom games of all time. With that said, these numbers come from official Capcom, from their sales and earnings reports. This list, last it was updated according to sales statistics, was the very end of June. I believe it was June the 29th. So there's no more up to date. So there's at least one or two games on here that would be higher up on the list by now. But with that said, so just keep that in mind with a couple of the games why the numbers are higher, like they would be currently. With that said, first up, starting at 25, as this is part 2 of the best selling, and keep in mind some of these games, it only for some reason has as one version console, and then some other games are multiple platform release. It's weird how Capcom's position and stuff on their reports, how it actually shows it is weird. With that said, at 25, released in 1999, this is specifically actually a combination, according to numbers, of the Dreamcast and the also PS1 version of the game. It does not include, though, GameCube, though, for some reason, release on it. Maybe because it was released later. Uh, at 25, selling an estimated 3.5 million copies is Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Coming in at number 24, released in 2008. And this is, I believe, only the PSP version of the game. And I've played at least two of these games now on the PSP, and they are good but very hard. At 24 is Monster Hunter Freedom Unit, which sold an estimated 3,800,000 copies, which is not bad at all. Because, let's be honest, Monster Hunter games, that's where a lot of the sales numbers nowadays come from for Capcom. Coming at 23, released in 2016, is the Resident Evil Zero HD remaster, which is for um, Xbox One and PS4. This does not include the remastered version on other platforms. So with that said, it surprisingly though, and this is including both digital and physical. So, but weirdly enough, Resident Evil Zero HD actually sold around 3,800,000 copies. Next, at 22, re-released technically, as it's a remaster or whatever, 2014 Resident Evil Remake HD version. This was released on specifically the PS4 as well as the Xbox One, and eventually would also get put on the Switch as well. Of course, a remaster of a GameCube classic. Uh, Resident Evil Remake HD sold an estimated 3,900,000 copies. Not bad at all. Coming at 21, released in 1993. So, arguably one of the oldest on the list, if not the oldest. Um, Released, this is strictly for the Super Nintendo, selling an estimated 4,100,000 copies. Street Fighter 2 Turbo. So, yeah, pretty impressive, not bad at all. Next, coming in at number 20, was released in 2013, and that is Monster Hunter 4. It sold an estimated 4,100,000 copies. At 19, released in 2014, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, which sold an estimated 4,200,000 copies. At number 18, released in 2015, selling an estimated 4,300,000 copies, Monster Hunter Generations. Like I said, Monster Hunter dominates this list. Coming in at coming at 17, released in 2017, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate version, which sold an estimated 4,600,000 copies. Coming in at 14, released in 2010, selling an estimated 4,900,000 copies. Monster Hunter Freedom 3, which was a 3DS game. So it's not surprising it did very well. Surprisingly, the Monster Hunter games on 3DS sold excellent numbers. Coming in at number 15, and released this year in 2023. Now, this is the game that one of the games I meant specifically, as it will be higher once more up to date numbers come in. But as of right now, at number 15 is Resident Evil 4 Remake, which by the end of June, it had already sold 4,900,000 copies. By now, it's probably sold at least 7 or 8 million. So it's going to be in the top 10 by probably the next time I might look about doing an updated version of this list. Coming in at 14, released in 1998, this includes both the original PS1 version release as well as also the N64 release, but it does not include GameCube or Dreamcast for whatever reason. Coming in at number 14, selling an estimated 4,960,000 copies, the original Resident Evil 2. Coming in at 13 is technically more of an expansion, though it does include the base game with the expansion and stuff. Released in 2022. Coming at 13 is Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, which has sold already estimated 6,100,000 copies. Coming in at number 12, released in 1992, making it easily the oldest. Released on just the Super Nintendo version that is included. Coming in at 12 is the original vanilla version of Street Fighter 2. Coming in at number 11, released in 2019, is a great game. This is Xbox One, PC, and PS4. Not including the special edition on current gen. Coming in at number 11, selling an estimated 7,200,000 copies, Devil May Cry 5. Coming in at number 10, released in 2016, as of most up to date, and this includes PC and also PS4. Selling an estimated 7,300,000 copies, Street Fighter 5, believe it or not. Also, coming in at number 9, released in 2020, selling an estimated 7,600,000 copies, Resident Evil 3 Remake. Next, coming in, released in 2021, strictly including, well, actually this includes PS4, PS5, Series X, and Xbox One. At number 8 is Resident Evil Village, selling an estimated 8,300,000 copies. Not bad. Next, coming in at number 7, released in 2012. This is strictly the the Xbox 360, the PS3, and I believe also PC. And this is the original release. Coming at number 7 depresses me. selling an estimated 8,800,000 copies. Resident Evil 6. Next, released in 2009. This is just the original release. So on 360 as well as PS3 and also PC, it sold an estimated 8,800,000 copies, and that being Resident Evil 5. Coming in at number 5, released in 2019, released on the PC as well as on the X1 and also on PS4. Coming at number 5, selling an estimated 10,500,000 copies, is Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Coming in at number 4, released in 2017, selling an estimated 12,400,000 copies, Resident Evil 7, which is mind-blowing. Next, coming in at number 3, released in 2019, which of course 7 was 2017, but released in 2019, selling an estimated 12,600,000 copies, Resident Evil 2 Remake. And that includes all ports, by the way. Coming in at number 2, released in 2021, which is kind of crazy. And this is strictly like a combination PC and also Switch. Coming at number 2, selling an estimated 13,200,000 copies, Monster Hunter Rise. And I think it's obvious by now what number 1 is. And released in 2018. And this is just the original release of the game with all platforms at the time. Selling an estimated 22,700,000 copies, Monster Hunter World. So that is it. That is the top 50 best-selling Capcom games of all time. Leave a comment below and tell me what your thoughts are on how good selling these games are. Well, I'll be curious to see where Street Fighter 6 ends up, and also, once better figures come out, see how where Resident Evil 4 Remake will end up. But with that said, I'll see y'all soon, and stay safe out there.